Oh, hey, Anna. Have you seen Heather around?
Yeah, actually, I just got finished taking care of her.
You took care of her?
Yeah, I mean, she didn't give me much of a choice. Did you know she's barely seen any of The Simpsons?
So you got rid of her?
Walter, we can handle an episode without Heather. I mean, you've seen The Simpsons, right?
Yes?
Oh, good. The Simpsons is an animated show that has been on the air for 30 seasons. It follows the American family, the Simpsons, and the other residents of Springfield.
Starting in its second season, there have been annual Halloween specials comprised of 3 short stories. They're a way for the writers to play around with their characters without having to answer to the show's continuity. These specials are known as the Treehouses of Horror.
These are the top 5 best Treehouse of Horror episodes. Number 5. Treehouse of Horror 13. Fright to Creep and Scare Harms. After Lisa successfully convinces the citizens of Springfield to relinquish their firearms, some undead villains take advantage of the recently defenseless town. The zombie cowboys rain terror upon the poor residents, and someone has to travel back in time to fix their mistakes. This is not the first or even best zombie episode of The Simpsons, and leaves you with mixed messages, but the other stories in the special were memorable enough to curve its grade. Island of Dr. Hibbert. The Island of Dr. Moreau may seem like a heavy subject for a family cartoon, and it is. This was a properly disturbing retelling. While the Simpson family vacations on a mysterious island, some creepy animal hybrids start popping up. Dr. Hibbert will not be stopped and continues his unforgivable experiments on the Simpson family. This segment sure stayed memorable thanks to its disturbing visuals, and although it's dark for a regular episode, it feels right at home in a Halloween special. Send in the clones. In this parody of multiplicity, Homer buys a magic hammock that duplicates himself. For a while, having multiple Homers is a benefit to his loved ones and himself by taking his less desirable duties. Eventually, he creates too many versions of himself to control them and decides to abandon the duplicates in a field with the hammock. Of course, the clones use this hammock to replicate themselves to an absurd amount. They then devour entire farms worth of food and factories worth of beer. A fun hypothetical tale on why the world can only handle one Homer at a time.
Number 4. Treehouse of Horror 15. 4 beheadings and a funeral. In this Sherlockian episode, The Simpsons utilizes dark humor to tackle another whodunit. Seeing The Simpsons characters in other time periods is a clever way to play with classic tropes. It's hard for any episode to live up to Who Shot Mr. Burns, but this story still has a couple twists to keep you on your toes. Ned Zone. After an accident, Ned Flanders gains the ability to predict people's deaths. This distressing new power comes at a cost. He sees himself killing Homer Simpson. When Flanders tries to prevent himself from committing this act, he realizes he must kill Homer to stop the end of the world. This episode features this dying bit that still makes me giggle to this day.
Oh, you stupid son of a...
Belly of the Boss. At a science convention, Maggie climbs into a pill just before it shrinks and is consumed by Mr. Burns. After being shrunken themselves, the remaining Simpsons go into his body to retrieve the baby. Once inside, the family must locate the stomach before the stomach acids dissolve her. With Maggie on board, they don't have enough power to bring everyone back, so one person must stay behind. This is when Homer chooses to stay behind and expands inside of Mr. Burns, scarring me for life. Thankfully, I was immediately cured when they danced to the most fitting song, I've Got You Under My Skin. A roller coaster of an episode with an unforgettable conclusion.
Number 3. Treehouse of Horror 7. The Genesis Tub. During a science experiment with soda, Lisa accidentally creates life. Her tiny toothed town evolves quickly, but is partially destroyed by Bart's carelessness. The civilization shrinks Lisa to worship her as their god and recruit her help for revenge. This tale is the weaker part of this episode, but I really enjoyed the different animated angles. Citizen Kang. When Homer is abducted, aliens Kang and Kodos demand to be taken to the leader of Earth. Because Homer is American and an American election is imminent, they have to get creative with taking over the humans. Naturally, they take over Bob Dole and Bill Clinton's forms so that no matter the outcome, an alien will rule. Their new forms are incredibly suspicious, but no one believes Homer's wild claims until it is too late. This has some great political commentary, including this satirical gem.
We must move forward, not backward, upward, not forward, and always twirling, twirling, twirling towards freedom.
The Thing and I. When a mysterious noise comes from the attic, the Simpson children investigate, letting loose whatever was chained up there. That whatever was actually a hidden sibling that looks like Bart. They discover Hugo was once Bart's conjoined twin, but was believed to be pure evil, so they were separated. Hugo has been hellbent on returning to Bart's side, but when Dr. Hibbert realizes Bart is the real evil twin, the boys switch lives to have it the way it always should have been. This is the best example of how these Halloween specials can mess with continuity in the best way.
Number 2, Treehouse of Horror 4, The Devil and Homer. Out of desperation and hunger, Homer sells his soul for a donut. He outwits the devil by not finishing his donut, but for obvious reasons, that is short-lived. When he does consume the final bite, he is held in hell until the trial for his soul. The best part of this episode is Homer being tortured by feeding him donuts eternally. If you know Homer, that's not even close to a bad thing. The most memorable details of this segment are the cannibalistic Donut Homer and Devil Flanders himself. Terror at 5.5 feet. In this Twilight Zone parody, Bart discovers a monster on the side of the bus. Unfortunately, no one else sees it or believes him. After Bart is able to fight the creature away, everyone realizes he was actually telling the truth for once. When he is carted away in an ambulance, however, the gremlin is far from taken care of. This segment is so true to the characters, it feels like it could have absolutely been a regular episode, if it weren't for that whole ending thing. Bart Simpson's Dracula. The Simpson family is invited to Mr. Burns for a midnight dinner, which in no way is suspicious.
Lisa, stop being so suspicious. Did everyone wash their necks like Mr. Burns asked? Yes.
Lisa and Bart go snooping around the castle and discover a basement full of coffins. They find ample evidence that Mr. Burns is a vampire, but no one does anything until Bart is turned into a vampire. To stop the vampirism from spreading, they must kill the head vampire, Homer's boss, Mr. Burns. This final story is full of hilarious one-liners and works perfect as the cap on a standout special.
With plenty of quality stories to choose from, we had to get picky to keep this list to only 5.
While some stories shine together, others were muddled by their companions and barely missed our countdown.
And the number 1 best Treehouse of Horror episode is Treehouse of Horror 5, The Shinning. The Simpson family takes over a lodge for the winter. When Mr. Burns takes away all the beer and cable, Homer quickly descends into a homicidal rage. Hilariously, the warm glow of television cures everything. This classic parody still holds up, and it's a great Cliff Notes version of the original movie, The Shining.
Shh! You wanna get sued?
Time and punishment. One day, Homer fixes the family toaster a little too well, turning it into a time machine. He knows not to alter anything in the past, or else it will have dire consequences in the future. Of course, Homer can't help himself. He irreparably changes the future to a world where Ned Flanders is master of the world, and anyone who questions his leadership must be lobotomized. So Homer must continuously travel back in time to undo his original mistake. It's delightful to watch all the different timelines Homer creates and his inevitable miscalculations. Nightmare Cafeteria. At the Springfield Elementary School, food is scarce and misbehaving children are plentiful. Principal Skinner realizes that each problem is the other's solution. As students start to disappear, Lisa and Bart go looking for answers, only to find the worst. The faculty have been caging and eating the students. This episode is one of the darkest and has 3 solid parts that all hold their weight. Hence, the coveted top spot. It even wraps up with a musical number featuring the Simpson family turned inside out. Perfectly creepy, right? By the way, Walter, do you have a favorite Simpsons character?
Bert? No, Leela. Leela's my favorite.
You haven't watched The Simpsons, have you?
No, but please don't kill me like you killed Heather.
Killed Heather? No. I took care of Heather. She's had a busy weekend at TwitchCon. Currently, she is drinking a beer on the couch and watching some Simpsons.
But you had blood on your hands.
Oh, yeah, that's because I found out Tamara's never seen Shark Boy and Lava Girl. We want to hear what you guys think. What's your favorite Treehouse of Horror episode?
What do you want us to cover next on the show? Leave a comment and let us know. You can like my Facebook page or follow along on Twitter.
You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or subscribe to my animated movie review series right here on YouTube.
We'll catch you back here next week with a brand new episode of Top 5. Thank you for watching October Top 5 2018.